Well, Dave, we've talked a lot about what's new for the Seahawks and what we're looking forward to and what we're not certain about. And, training camp is right around the corner. And to me, this is chalk, but I'm most interested or most curious about Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
And it's because I think I can safely say nobody on the station talked about Sam Darnold when he was on the Vikings more than you and I did.
Yeah.
Because he was a fascination. We talked about this is a guy who was a top 5 pick. He went to the Jets. He was a bust. And he turned into a perennial backup. And all of a sudden, he's having this season out of nowhere. And we're looking each week at the box scores, going, "Whoa! Look at his line. He's throwing for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns and blah blah blah." And then the last 2 games of the season, we focused on, all right, those were the most consequential, and he didn't play well in those games. But those weren't the only 2. You and I were looking at the schedule and going, well, this game wasn't great. And the Jags, they won 12-7, and he had no touchdowns and 3 picks. And
right.
So there was some old Sam Darnold in there somewhere. To me, I'm just trying to figure out who's the real Sam Darnold. What are we going to see?
Right. Yeah, and then I'll get to, I think, my biggest question, which is the coaches that can unlock a guy like that, because that's kind of what happened, right? But you're right. I mean, we looked at the Jets game.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was 45% completion percentage and didn't throw a touchdown, had 1 interception. So there were some games like that were questionable, but for the most part, he, like I said, was unlocked by the coaching in Minnesota, and we saw it firsthand. Remember, he steps up and throws the game winner to Justin Jefferson on the run. He's almost getting sacked and steps up in the pocket and just throws a perfect pass. I mean, he beat Julian Love on that pass, and Julian had a great year. So yeah, I mean, it's that is a big question. I think I'm going to go with coaching, and I think to me that's the biggest mystery as far as how much can the coaching sort of hide some of the warts, and then also, are these players, which I've talked to a number of coaches and scouts, that they think they have the right players on the offensive line. And it's a matter of, and so I think going into this season, this is the most I remember ever talking about coaching.
Yeah.
I'm in Clint Kubiak coming in here, and then the connection with him earlier with in San Francisco with Sam Darnold, and whether or not he can carry on that, unlocking Sam Darnold. But as far as the offensive line goes, I think that one of the best stats that I've heard was that Brady Henderson came on with us. He said, and when Kubiak was in New Orleans, they had more moving pockets as far as the pass game goes than any other team. And what that does is that helps your offensive line. I mean, last year it was just drop back, and they had to throw the ball, but they just didn't really help out the offensive line. So can these coaches not only unlock Sam Darnold once again, but also help be, offensive line friendly play calling on offense, I think is going to be one of the biggest mysteries.
Well, and hopefully that in turn leads to a run game that was absent last year.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, there were some injuries, and certainly you have to account for those, but you had to throw the ball. You were dropping back. You threw the ball a ton. You couldn't run it.
Right.
You couldn't run it. You were bringing up, I can't remember who the opponent was, but 3rd and 1, they run off the left side. They can't convert. 4th and 1, same thing. They just didn't have any push from the line. The running attack wasn't much of a threat. So, I mean, it's all connected. Right? The coaching staff, if they can get the line in good position, that's going to help Sam Darnold. The other guy we've got questions about, it's going to help the running game that wasn't there last year. So I think we figured out the biggest question is the coaches. Can they make everybody better on that side of the ball?
Yeah, and I don't think we've ever talked about coaching, particularly, on the offensive side. Kind of feel like we got it down on the defensive side, right? I mean, Mike McDonald is the master of that defense, and of course, Aiden Dirty is running the defense. But yeah, on the offensive side, I don't remember it being more reliant on coaching, and maybe that's not something that's going to happen. But one of the guys I would mention on the offensive line, you mentioned him before we came on the air, Bob, but Anthony Bradford is just an incredible athlete as far as an offensive lineman goes. And you see him every once in a while just give a guy just a little shove or a punch and falls down. I mean, he's incredibly strong, and he can play, and he's mobile enough to play in this run game, which is going to run that wide stretch zone where a lot of times when you look at the drills for the offensive line, they're like practically sprinting to the numbers. Like a lot of the run plays are out on the numbers. So, and I've been told that Anthony Bradford has the ability to do that. You know, he's not just a big guy who is going to knock people down. I mean, he's also very athletic. So they feel like they have the guys at offensive line to get that done. But again, it goes back to the coaching.